Hey, so we're going to go into this subject about whether or not there is more than one sun, big light in the sky. And I am going to premise the answer on yes for this video. Mag just did an amazing video this week. I think it was a couple days ago on this. I started giving it some thought and I'm excited to discuss it. I don't usually like to say things that are a little too wild, not that I had thought about that. In reality, though, I have thought about it. I've been predictively programmed and I've been giving that some thought with how and when I've heard that, right, about more than one sun and how and what happens. So let's think about it. We have, aside from YouTube and like Joanne Steen showing us the sun simulator turning on in the middle of the night. Oh boy, what is that? Uh, Aside from that, we have movies. And we also have NASA and science, other liars that have talked about other planets having more than one sun. We've also had the black hole sun. Won't you talk about again with their. Okay, so not everything is a sexual innuendo, although there is a lot of it in our language. The suns here, the big lights here, what we're talking about is the see I want to stay focused, people, my favorite people in the world, okay, because obviously I like to talk about cool things, and the official story is not cutting it for me in any shape or form, so I want to stay focused on that. It makes a lot of sense that there would be more than one big light. The big light is very close, uh, not millions, not thousands, not hundreds of miles away. Um, and when I've done like I used to make, I like to make maps, and maybe we'll do a little bit here while I'm talking about it, but let's see if we can just talk it out without the visual. Like, if you see the pattern of the big light where you are, like where I'm at, it looks like almost like a rainbow, okay? An orange yellow rainbow. Okay, that's because on the sides, when it gets close to us, it looks like it's close to the horizon, but it's not. It's higher up, I think. It could be artificially down there, but no. I don't think it's an artificial looking dome. I think it's would be an artificial horizon, not horizon, of artificial big light that goes around. I think, okay, I think there's two things. I think there's the natural light and then artificial lights. So let's say I've been thinking maybe two suns, like the two candles, or six, right? And they go around circular, right? Take a plate or something, right? And then the land structure and the time zone. And it goes around, let's say one at 45 degrees north of the equator and 145 degrees south of the equator. And then those parts, those artificial environments where it's cold, where you couldn't live and survive without their electric because it's so cold. And, unless I understand they've glorified snow and the whole, cabin in the wood furnace, and we found a way today, but still, okay. Let's imagine there's some artificial ones, though, further north, or whatever it is. Okay, I'm just saying something like that. They've given you a lot of movies where, and also in the Bible, aren't they in darkness for 40 years? Uh, are people going to end up walking, looking for natural light in the daytime? I don't know. And really, we're just along for the ride. I don't even, it's not our fault. And yeah, it's different seeing things in real life versus seeing things on video. Now, yeah, I think a lot of things are cartoon and CGI, and rarely do we see real footage. But it does make sense that there would be artificial lights and not so difficult. I think of it as remote control planes, remote control fighter jets, remote control drones, remote control planes we haven't seen, or flying objects, drones. But that is also half of it compared to the hologram and what we've seen them do on a light show. All right, so let's go into one of these. The ones that caught my attention were artificial sun, the explosion, and the seven suns, okay? In China, making the artificial sun, and of course NASA hiding. So I'm going to say all these, right? And of course, whichever one that gets the most views shows what they're pushing the most on the people. Here, what if the sun explodes? 5 million views, right? They're pushing it to you as if it's a big thing to explode. I'll pause you and do this commercial.
Hey, it's me, your skin. I crave being...
I turned the screen, sorry. So they give you all CGI, and then that way, if you see it in reality, you think it's real. But keep your wits about yourself.
This is What If, and here's what would happen if the sun exploded tomorrow. That star at the center of our solar system, that super hot...
Okay, look what they show you. All fake. All cartoon. Never something you see in reality. The sun is just a big light in the sky that moves in a circular, looks like it's going in a circular fashion. And there could be as many as, there could be 10 of them.
Ball of plasma that gives us heat and energy and amazing complexions.
Maybe 6, 7, 8.
It's a ticking time bomb. The sun is about 10 billion years old, but it's only expected to last about another 5 billion years. After that, the sun will expand, becoming a red giant. Then, it will shrink to become a white...
There you go. See, they're telling you exactly. They're pre-predicting, programming you with what they're going to do. A big-ass light show, and then they're going to turn the light off on us. And it ain't just going to be in our home. It's going to be our fucking big fucking sun. And don't let them fool you about the 6 million, look at the Jewish calendar, 6,000 years. This isn't their first rodeo. And look how they speak to the people. Okay? We are not going to regress. We need to keep moving forward, and people can get on the same page. I did. It's not like you don't already have everything formulated anyway, right? Anyway, let's keep going.
Dwarf, a dying star, cooling for the next several billion years. Of course, we'll all be long gone before any of that happens, but still, can you imagine what it would be like to watch the sun?
Okay, so such pigs, right? Tooting their own horn that they're killing all the people, and at the end, what, you're going to have a little light show in the sky, and instead of the sun there, it's going to be some astronomy picture from some magazine? What was the whole point of all that in the first place, right? And then who's this? Okay, or what? Light beings? What do we need to get? Night goggles? Okay, they've hinted towards everything. One thing we shouldn't be is scared. And yeah, let's just keep going.
Blow up before your very eyes. With a name like supernova, you'd think that a solar explosion would be the most magnificent fireworks show the world has ever seen. But in reality, you likely wouldn't see anything. The sun is 150 million kilometers away.
No, no, no. What? The top of the dome is at what? 100 miles up? Let's
Away
give it
from Earth.
200?
It takes 8 minutes for light from the sun to reach us.
No.
And while that may seem super far away, in supernova
Okay.
terms,
So, again, they're talking jibber jabber. They're showing you nothing of value, and we're not really interested. So they have the menorah, which has some menorahs. Okay, so you got the two candles that they light, Jewish people light every week, right? And then for two of the suns, there's the menorah, right? The lights, there's like 6, 7, or 8 of them. Here they show you how they make artificial stars. The extraordinary, okay, here. 7 suns, 7 big lights. Sorry.
The system, we like to keep things simple. Just the one star found in the center with everything else orbiting around it.
No, they
as
like
is
to
the
keep
case
things
for
simple.
most planetary systems found
Leave
in the
us out of
universe.
it.
However, there are some planetary systems out there where things get a bit more complicated. Specifically, systems where there are 2 or more stars that orbit each other. In such configurations, what happens to any planet orbiting them? In fact,
Okay, so what we can take out of this, just like they give you aliens and they're talking about the elites and their toys, their lights, their sexual acts, and whatever else the hell you can get truth out of that. All these other planets and stuff, this is stuff going on here. Here. Okay, not outside the dome.
can planets orbit them at all with the gravitational tugs from different directions? To answer the latter question, the simple answer is yes. Planets can orbit in such situations. Although, to answer the former question,
Now, everything is not artificial here, okay? See, that's where at the end of the day I think it goes, that they expose so much and then they take credit for where we are. And that's where we want to make the distinction with naturality versus artificial, okay? I think. So, my Eminem thing, should I delete that? I was listening to that song and I was listening to the lyrics, and then I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll record my self.
there is no one answer fits all rule about how a planetary system in a multi-star system might look. What we can do, however, is explore some of the possibilities out there.
Yeah, no, our goal is to explore why you lied to us, right? Why they've lied to us, why they've muzzled us. Yes. Okay, so then the question is why don't they just kill everyone outright? Because then people would start figuring it out. This is a much easier way. And I used to think it was all about research and development, but it's hard to imagine what else they have to research. Right? Like, they they can know us better than we know ourselves in a lot of ways. So I I do agree. Mag Mag's work is so amazing. I mean, I nice. It's like the war on our creator. It makes so much sense. It's the only way that the people in charge would give us this illusion of being free and the free will that we have and how it's been messed with. It's it's amazing. Birds, I never really thought about birds being fake, except a few times when I've heard it from a few people. I would say if it's a big flying horse, it's a hologram. Holograms can look real as can be at the amusement parks and stuff. Wow. Unless you're touching it. I'm not suggesting, going to touch stuff like that, but
But before we look at planets, it would be good to understand how multi-star systems work. For the most part, stable star systems have organized themselves into hierarchical systems. This is due to the proximity in which they formed with each other, which we will touch on.
wow. Okay, so this almost looks like it's planets and stars for like every continent. Anyway, I'm not really sure exactly how the Cosmo. I'm not really sure how the lights work exactly, uh, but I do love being watching them, and I love being outside, and yeah, and that's what we should, I want to focus on, and the fact that they've done such a very copious job on taking the best things away from us. Wow.
John a little later. Binary star systems are generally simple enough. Binary stars orbit around a barycenter, or in other words, their center of mass. If the masses of these two stars are similar, then nearly symmetrical elliptical orbits are often
There's
seen.
another thing that reminds me of, and I'm not sure about this, but you know how you can make your eyes cross-eyed and you can start seeing double of things, and then they always point to the one eye. That's probably a diversion, right? Because one eye straight up to me is like the camera, and then listening, and then I was at this park and I left my speaker on the other side of the park, and I had my phone, and I thought I could play something to the people there and be like, this is the aliens talking to you, and they'd be like, whoa, right? And no one would fall for that now, but in the mountains with a fake mountain or a speaker or whatever, and yeah, I think that would have fooled a lot of people, and I think that that tech has been around this whole time. I'd be very surprised. The only thing that new under the dome, the diamond dome, I could imagine is, I mean, I think the people over 6,000 years, generations, what? I don't know if it's 100 generations, 200 or what, but, or 500, however many it is, I think that they've gone from our skin color and the people mixing, being all one, to putting up the borders where we've been separated and seeing that distinction and possibly mixing us with animals as a whole, and then mixing us all back up and together again. I could see that because it doesn't take much. What, one generation of mixing and it's back? So, yeah. So let's just finish this off. I should probably stop this. My videos are
Although there
too
can
long.
be occasions where they orbit in circles, in a similar fashion to Pluto and Charon.
Okay, so when we look at this, you're thinking flat Earth. Just flatten it out, time zone map. Sun's going around clockwise, and it looks like a rainbow, but it's really a straight, a curved line, and it just keeps going around. And I think that's true also because being on a plane and you're above the sun, you can see that it's going in that circular clockwise motion. And all of it taking place under the dome. So if anything's moving here, it's not the land, it's the water going through the mountains, through the oceans, around circulating. You got the big light and the little light giving off their light. Correct? And that's it. I mean, again, you can also cover things, or I'm sorry, you can also hide things. They can hide things with like aluminum foil, a home, a plane, cloaking things for a long time. I highly doubt any of the tech is different. I can't imagine what is. What do they wait on? They hint towards things like I'm gathering the mixing of the people and the animals for trying to get women to have 4 or 5 babies at once. And when they say 2-3 months of being in a box for clones, they're talking about after they pull it from a woman's body. It can survive in that artificial environment for a few months to grow, correct? Anyway, sorry about my voice. I'm laying kind of like halfway up, halfway down, and thank you. And I'm thanking my male person.
In the case that one object is more massive than the other, then the more massive object's orbit doesn't take it as far out compared to the less massive object. Beyond binary systems...
Okay, so they just showed you the circles don't have to be all like parallel to each other and in it like those Chinese dolls that we had that were inside of each other. They could actually go around differently. I'm going to tell you how I see it most likely with the natural is, remember it, you've seen where, not that museums are real, but there's this thing I've seen at them where it can go up, well, probably not, but it says, I think it can. I've seen them like pendulums where they go back and forth on their own for the music. And then they have them also like pulley systems, but it's like a circle. It's like a string in the middle, a line in the middle, and then it can circle down, and then it circles back up. Okay, I guess kind of maybe like a fountain, or it's just a circle and a wire. Not a wire, but it's not gravity. Okay, it's just some things we're not going to have the answer to in this lifetime. Just like a hardest surface, and this rotation, it's not that hard to accept. It's not like people had the answer of why they thought the earth was moving 1,000 miles an hour and the sun was moving 1,000 miles and blah, 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 blah. Did you lock my door?
Have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or more stars in the same...
I don't live with the whole community. I live with you. You lock both doors. You need the whole community to know. There you go. You just expose yourself.
System. And as you will see, there is a structure within these systems to keep them stable. In the case of 3 stars, you'll have 2 stars orbiting each other in a binary configuration.
I don't appreciate... that was on blast. I did not pause that. On my video. Okay, I am not a mean person, but I shouldn't have to tell a child, not one who's capable of making decisions, when they're making me tell them over and over something, it's because they're trying to say they don't agree with it or something. This is my home. I want it locked. I'm not, whoever you think. And if they have a problem with it, when they get older, they can live in a home that's not locked. Don't tell me this one is and this one isn't. I decide that. All right, I'm going to end this video. I'm sorry. Don't worry. Everything's fine. Okay, that's the meanest I get. Love you all. We'll talk more about this later when I have some time to myself, apparently. Okay, it's like we are in charge here. Okay, as a parent, you don't let kids run your home. You don't let it run amok. I don't. Or it'll be a mess. It'd be one thing that my kids do have a father in their life. And when they act like him, this house does not look like my house. They don't talk like me. They don't act like me. A single mother who has never had that father in their home, the kid will act exactly like them. Okay, so there are many different scenarios. So two parents that get along can have 20,000 kids all day long and no problems. Okay, build, and build. But when you have kids that are going to fight each other like animals to destroy each other to see who wins, that is not going to work. Okay, and if you do, I take responsibility for it. And in my home, that's not how the rules are. Now, if that's how their biological father is, that's his right, his home, not mine. Okay? And I'm sorry, but you know, I do these videos, and if I'm going to be doing them and I'm not going to be home alone and I'm going to be sharing with you, some of that bitter freaking truth is going to be exposed to you. Now, back in the day, I don't know. I thought yelling was normal. Okay, that's how we're supposed to get through to the kids. And, you know, anyone who's kicking their kid down, their kids are not pushing them the way my kids push me. Anyway, I think it's clear the way things are, but I'm not taking responsibility when I see my kids act a way that I didn't teach them. You know, and I teach them all day, all night, and it ain't about academics. It's lessons on how to act right, how to treat people the way you want to be treated, about sharing, about cleaning up. I don't live in a dumpster. You know, my things, if things that I have, I want to be able to find them. I'm just saying, people. So my anger, I want to keep it focused on the elite, but at the same time, I'm, you know, in the process of, you know, teaching children. And this government, these people in charge, these rulers they got their tentacles all over our children. And my guess is by next year, people are going to be begging to give their kid away. You think I'm kidding? Look what they've done in other countries. They go in, they could turn everything off on the people. The people run to them for food. They beg them. They're impoverished. And when the people in charge and the military show up for the kids, not only will they take them or not, they'll vaccine them and leave them. No clothes, no real food. And it's always war on the mom. They don't even give you real women on TV. I'm supposed to be some jealous, pathetic loser. And at the end of the day, no offense, I can't trust the TV. The creator I trust. And I am not willy-nilly giving away freaking forgiveness. Not on their terms. You know, at the end of the day, I'm going down like this, and we will wish. I think by the end of this we will wish that this was the last day on earth. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? They're not here to keep bad people here. They're here to snuff out anyone who's good, turn them bad, turn them crazy, or maybe replicate them to, they literally are like, they want the creator at the table, no more, no less. And it's hard to imagine, because if they don't fight, they freaking hate us then. We're like ants to them. It's all analogy, a parable. Anyway, I'll shut up, and I guess I should get off and relax, and these videos end up too long. And then I did a podcast, and I did another podcast, and I haven't exactly figured it out. And I added the fourth one to the third one. They are hard to title podcasts. Anyway, and now with the YouTube channels, Porridge and Very Truly Yours are striked out, but True Server has one strike. And so I'm in a bit of a rut here of where I'm supposed to put anything. I don't want any of those channels going down, and of course they're all going. So I guess I'll put this on BitChute for the moment until I can figure out about what to do with YouTube. I freaking I miss living. As dumb and as controlled as it was, I miss the parties, I miss the clubs, I miss dancing, I miss India, I miss Israel, I miss Sinai. I miss all of it. I miss all the people, all the random people. I miss the gatherings. I miss the getting together. And, amongst all the crap and all the dumb beliefs that I had, I was genuine. The people I met were genuine. And even if they weren't, they're going to answer for it. Don't ever feel like you've been taken. If you're smart enough to figure it out, that's good. No one wants to die with a lie, and I don't either. I'm not so much in I don't need to know too much more. I just don't want to have been a fool in my life, right? Like, I kind of feel like everyone at this point, maybe we should have a boat, because they can flood specific areas, and a boat's an easy way. It's so easy and quick to get anywhere, especially if they freaking switch the light off. Anyway, I guess this is long enough. How long is it? I can't see anything. 32 minutes. Yeah, and then so I got upset because she went out and then went in and left the doors open, or part of it. So now things are quiet. It seems to be a routine. They get calmed or soothed by me loud because he's loud. Anyway, once I had kids, I also realized more bullshit with society, because it's all set up for single people or for men, right, who have a mother to take care of the kids. Okay, there's no place for a mother in society. It's really sad, except to make babies. So we need to. We cannot just rock and roll. It's bullshit. All right. Well, I think this is long enough, and okay, let's postpone.
With the third orbiting around a barycenter with the other two. This keeps the system stable, because if 3 stars had their orbits cross, one would certainly...
Okay, so we're at cartoon graphs supposedly out in the middle of nowhere, considering there's no space, no universe, except for in Technicolor and on TV, and there are sexual innuendos. We're in an enclosed environment here. What the hell are they trying to say? Clearly, there's more than one side. So then it's like, yeah, Mag, thank you so much. You're so amazing. Did we tell you how much we love you today? And not in a gross Elvis rip your clothes off kind of way. There is an exception for the first time you see him. But that's in the privacy of your own car, not in front of his face. Of course, you want to shake his hand when you meet him and probably cry. Okay? Because you're standing in front of someone who's not going to freaking belittle you and put you down for thinking differently. Okay? Now, if you go to him with the mainstream view and expect him to give you the same respect of someone who's completely doesn't feel that way, that's wrong. That's totally unfair. Now, some people feel that there's no way, millions and billions of people can be wrong. Well, I disagree. I beg to differ, and I beg you to reconsider that. Now, look what they show you. Okay, what do we? I understand this isn't school, but it is a good way for me to process what I'm doing here, and from day one, from where I am now to, and I I want to continue moving forward. And yeah, we can say we're starting on day one, but no, no, just because, like, if someone dies in your life, there more than likely is a grief process. Like, I have a friend, he's distraught because he didn't rescue a dog, and he felt like it was like the reincarnation of his old dog. And I thought he was talking about me. I mean, that's how serious he was about it. I was like, are we dead? But anyway, because it was like a 140-pound dog with this huge chain on his neck. I was just like, what is going on? But no, that's not it. Okay. It shows, how serious people are about their life and wanting, the truth. And his main concern was whether or not he had left this dog in someone's hands who was going to make them fight, and ruin this dog's future.
Get ejected from the system at some point. In a 3-star system, 2 of the stars are contained in their own enclosed little system, acting as 1 star in the grand scheme of the whole system itself.
Okay, so we have natural light in our enclosed system, and then they have their artificial lights up there. And for example, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, all CGI. Holographic lights also, I'm gathering. Poisoning of the people, I'm gathering as well. I'm talking about aside from the show on TV. Also, again, 3D pictures, people. Don't forget. Okay, Google Earth Maps, what they show you in the ground. Also, they show you in the sky. In real life, no, I don't think it's real horses and demons and spirits in the sky or in the ground. No, no, and no. On so many different levels. However, I do think they would go at any length possible to make you think that by giving you holograms in the sky, moving clouds for you. Do I think we have some type of power like that? Yeah, but I think it's different. I think it has to do with us connecting with each other, because I have found people around the world without addresses. So, and driving. So I think we definitely have connections. And like sometimes, one time I was in camping and it looked like the stars were falling. Were they messing with me and giving me stars? Some stars falling? No, it was a whole. If it was that whole damn area. Okay, I mean, there's too many people that say they have seen things. Okay, I'm talking about unidentified things, but what I'm saying is, in no shape do I think they're natural things from outside the dome, that they're there to mess with you, and that's it. And if you for me, when I stopped delving into that stuff and, you know, actually literally calling it, it went away. I'm not sure. I remember, and then also same thing. Like I want to touch on that with the thing with like when they show you the aliens and the bodies in the air. Is that just someone remembering being a baby being lifted in the air, right? And maybe they had a muzzle on. I don't know, something stuffed in their mouth. I don't know. And yeah, see, I'm not really sure. I want to go into more subjects right now because it seems to me like everything is for them to cover up their child molestation ring. And make no mistake, there's controlled opposition, but they're covering their own asses. And that's not going to change. And if they're trying to expose it, that's only so they can have their escape route. And we don't want to have anything to do with it. I don't. Justice I don't see occurring until after we're dead. And I guess they're trying to either erase any memory we have of it or change it into something else, I think. And of course, yeah. Yeah, and love the one you hate and hate the one you love. I want to finish this video, but
Group
it's
this
another
binary
8 minutes.
configuration into a tier, with that tier acting together in its association with the single star. In a way, once you have grouped the binary configuration in the system, this upper tier now acts like a 2-star system again, with the 2 stars and the 1 star orbiting each other. In the case of
Okay, I think I'm going to link Mag's video on the sun for this, the big light, because it's what sparked me to do this. Also, I had a friend tell me that she has been watching Mag on a channel that's not his, but his work, of course. It was called, I think, I'm not sure yet exactly, Truth and Consequence or something, but Mag only has 3 YouTube channels, a BitChute channel, and a podcast, and a shop. So, yeah, there is a lot of people making money off of him, and, that, I stay away from those if I can. I have, downloaded some of those videos that I have found outside of his channels and brought them to mine and put on his a playlist with his stuff, trying to link people back to him, because I don't feel like really anyone's going to truly wake up without finding him, because that's how I was.
case of 4 stars, you'll either have 2 binary configurations orbiting around a barycenter, or 1 binary system orbiting a barycenter with a 3rd star, and all 3 of those stars orbiting around a barycenter with a 4th star.
And we can't determine it by which one's hotter, because they're saying they have ones that are hotter than the real sun. And if I think back at all the places I've been in the world, yeah, it has been a little different. And it is very hard to make logical sense out of it all. But, for me, who's had years and years of logic and practice, there's many different kinds of logic. It's not all deductive logic. There's logic where you can make any sentence true depending on its definition. That's why they're changing the definitions.
From here on is where the hierarchical system really comes in handy.
You know what really fucking annoys me? That ASMR, Mag did a video on it once where they use, it's like porn noises. That creeps the fuck out of me, people. And it's true. You don't want to expose, Oh, and another thing. Everything is coded, but listen, you got to remember, we live in a world of monopoly. Okay? So, you got YouTube, you got different different things, social media, different. Yeah, I think they're all connected though. Okay, but we are still survivors here. Okay.
With a chart like this, you can easily see how the
And
system works.
you can use the analogy like Hunger Games, where we're looking for real food. If you're like me and you see those markets, I went into a market, grocery store for the first time in a year and a half, and it looked like, to me, the shelves were full, but to me it looked like they were about to close the doors. To me, everything that was open in the store was on the shelves and the whole place was ready to be shut down. The pharmacy was a third of what it was. The one thing I was looking for, I didn't see there. And they were, of course, serving up the vax there. And when I left the store, I felt under the weather for a couple hours, to be honest. And I thought, did I touch anything? And it was pretty sad in there. Majority of the people in there, 70% of them were in masks because they're taking a stand saying they don't want the vaccine, and they're on the loudspeaker telling them they take off the mask, and at the same time telling them to go get the vaccine. But didn't say it was mandated. It was really sad. I recognized a few people because I had been going there for years before then, who I got to say I was happy about seeing them, but none of their faces. And yeah, that's what it was. Won't be going
In the
back.
two binary configuration case, you have the two binaries orbiting the system's center of mass. In the single binary and two...
I also don't advise anyone to start any arguments with anyone, anywhere. Okay, things change quick. The way they are today won't be how they are next year. Okay, people's viewpoints are going to change. There's going to be a lot of resentment. I think that's why they're exposing some of the negative side effects on the vaccine, is because of the resentment. They may say that people are disabled but not dead and blame us. Okay, it could be anything. And it is what it is.
Single stars configuration, you'll add another lower tier in the configuration. You have the binary here, which orbits this third star.
A closed system is so easy for them to make because you can't really see more than a mile. If there's no trees and you're out on the water or you're out on flat land, you can see for 50, 100 miles. When you go high in the sky, you get that kind of triangle pinpoint thing, right? The angling where you can see a huge amount, so something can be extremely small to the eye. Whereas what I'm saying is when you start looking up versus horizontal, you could be looking at something that's 50 feet away that you think is 5,000 feet away, right? Or 50,000 feet away. What I'm saying is that it could look the exact same. That's where you get into the voodoo black magic and the light show, I think, versus reality.
Three of these stars are orbiting together with the fourth star. If there are more stars in the system, say 5, you can have an array of configurations with various binaries or single stars on a variety of tiers.
Right, maybe even the constellation.
You can easily see where the mass lies.
Like, for example, there's times when I've looked up in the sky at night and there was just millions of stars, where at other times I see only hundreds. Well, maybe those hundreds are artificial, and that's what they're referring to when they talk about their stupid satellites.
You can do the same for systems with 6, 7, or more stars, but anything above 7 is exceptionally rare and probably won't remain stable. Although maybe there are examples
in your ass, liars.
where it exists.